Has anyone of you been to the Philippines ever? 行ったことがありますか？聞いたことがありますか？はい。What have you heard about the Philippines? マンゴーでしょ？甘いでしょ？はい。バナナ。日本のバナナはフィリピンから来ましたでしょ？はい。From our Australian beaches, yes, umi. Have you heard anything about the Philippines?
The food is very tasty.
Yes. 食べ物は美味しいです。Start with the agenda. First, I will be introducing the Philippines, what it's like, what the people are like, the culture, religions, and the languages. And then a general Philippine market overview using a business framework called the PEST analysis. So PEST stands for political, economical, social, and technological. So, and then analysis of Filipino consumers. We start with social media and messaging. Next would be fashion, restaurants, and then online shopping. Are you ready? Yes. Alright, so the Philippines. The Philippines is known as the Republic of the Philippines. It's the official name. It's an archipelagic Southeast Asian country, and it's on the west side of the Pacific Ocean. So archipelagic means made of different islands. So if I'm not mistaken, it's Gunto. Yes. And there are 3 land groups, but these 3 different land groups, similar to Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, is formed by 7,107 known islands. So at this point, we're not even sure about what the real number is. It can go up to 7,500 depending on low tide and high tide. Yes. So there are 2 seasons. There's a joke in the Philippines that says it's summer and summest or hot and hotter. But in fact, it's wet and dry season depending on if there's rain or if there's no rain. And then here, we're very famous for being a very, very hot country. The highest temperature is at 39.4 Celsius, which was last week, the highest ever recorded. The lowest temperature is at 10.8 Celsius, which can only be experienced in the mountains. But the average in the city is 27 degrees Celsius. So that's probably natsu no toki, nihon de. And then for short history lesson, we have, from the start of Philippine history, we have been colonized by many different countries, the first one being Spain, for 377 years. So our language is full of Spanish words, and our culture, our food has a lot of Spanish influence into it. And then also the USA for 48 years, and at the same time Japan for a very short time, 4 years. And then we also experienced a dictatorship, so a president that kind of closed the borders of the country and controlled it using soldiers and military. So that's around 21 years. So, as for religion, 宗教, 90% of Filipinos believe in Christianity, so Jesus Christ. 80% of this 90% is Catholic, and then the rest are from other Protestant doctrines. And then 10% of them are Muslim. So most of the people who are under the Islamic religion are in the south area of the Philippines. So south. There. And then we speak 185 languages in our country. We have an official language. It's Filipino, the Filipino language. We have 500 plus dialects in the country, and we are a bilingual nation. Our language instruction in school is English, and we have Filipino classes. So that makes most of the Filipinos fluent in English, if not adept in it. For the political landscape of the Philippines, our current president is actually working very hard to get rid of corruption in the country. So the country has been riddled with corruption for the longest time, and he has been trying to fix this for the past 6 years. So what has this done for our country? It has definitely encouraged foreign investment. Businesses from other countries are now more confident to invest in the country because of the lessening corruption. And then next would be the ASEAN integration. ASEAN is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. This is encouraging the Philippines to join in the free trade market of Southeast Asia, so that Southeast Asia would become a strong power in the world market. And then the next one is a very important part in terms of foreign companies deciding whether to invest in the Philippines or not. So in 2 to 3 weeks, we will be changing our president. So depending on the results of who becomes the president, it will definitely affect the business landscape of the country. So can't wait. Can't wait for it. I won't be able to vote. Yes. So next would be economic. Are we familiar with GDP? So this is gross domestic product. So consumption, investment, government expenditures, and exports. So this, for the past 10 years, has been increasing steadily because of the existence of business process outsourcing businesses. So like call centers call center services that have been entrusted to the Philippines, and also remittances of Filipinos who work abroad and send money back to the Philippines. So that increases our GDP. So at the same time, because people are earning more, they have more money, they can spend a lot more now. So Filipinos have been noticed to have spent a lot in terms of clothes, food, entertainment, and even travel. So this encouraged foreign brands and global retailers to come in. And also Japanese brands have been coming in at a very fast rate in the Philippines. But even though foreign brands are present in the Philippines, we have noticed that young Filipinos in their 20s to their 30s have been starting their own businesses. So this is very good for the economy, but it poses as a problem for competition in terms of foreign brands who want to come in. Any questions?
レミタンスイーツっていうのが、日本的に言うと出稼ぎですね。だからフィリピンの人は結構優秀で真面目なので、その世界中いろんなところに行って稼いで、それをフィリピンに送っていると。
Next would be social. So if we look at the population of the Philippines, a very big part of it, 31% of the population is actually from up to 30 years old. So the population is very young. People from this population, they're working, they're earning money and contributing to the economy. They're family oriented. They're very close to their families. Family is very important to our culture. But we noticed that Filipino young people are starting to marry at a later age. So they start getting married after their 30s. So this is very alarming because maybe it will lessen the population in the future, or maybe it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. And then of course the mall culture. The shopping mall culture in the Philippines is ingrained in our everyday life. We can do government transactions, we can go to the bank, we can hang out with our friends or spend time with our families inside the malls. So there are huge malls in the Philippines, and if we're not at home, if we're not in our houses, we're in the shopping malls. So, and then people have also been traveling and trying to get connected with each other 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, using internet and cell phones. So the last one is also a very alarming issue in terms of for businesses, because the Philippines, or specifically Metro Manila, the capital, it's not exactly the safest place in the world. It could be dangerous for you to walk at night alone, especially if you're a girl. So this is something that we we should think about if we want to invest in the country. And lastly, technology. The Filipinos are very into social media. We beat Japan and South Korea in terms of social media usage. But the ironic thing is that the internet in the country is very slow. So we were able to beat the fastest internet countries with our social media usage, even with a slow internet, which is very strange. And the next would be ineffective public transportation system. We don't have the high-tech metro lines. We mostly use our private cars, and because of people buying their own cars, multiple cars even, it's very traffic. You can take as much as 2 to 3 hours from your house to work in the morning, and our roads are very narrow. So the economy is booming. It's getting better, but infrastructure, roads, and also technology is not improving. So this is an example of public transportation in the Philippines. It's called the jeepney. So you can just ride in and pass your coins at around 14 yen to the driver, and then he's going to take you to where you're gonna go.
14円です。
14.
14.
Yes, just 14 yen, maybe 14 to 15 yen. And then next, so you guys are familiar with this, right? This is yours. This is Tokyo. And then this is Manila. We only have 3 train lines in the city. So this is a very big problem for us because it's hard to get to anywhere unless you have a car or you leave very, very early in the morning, like 4 a.m. But that's very difficult.